it's me, and I'm in my kitchen because I'm so boring. I don't have anything cool to share with you lately. So I'm going to do something super cool and do a cooking episode. I've got a friend who owns an organic farm, and he has provided us with some beautiful organic rotational pastured free range chicken. And so I asked for a set of thighs, and we're going to make I guess it would be a take on an Italian pasta dish, but you could pretty much do it any way you want to. I'm going to do it in 2 pots just to save time, but if you were really interested in not having to wash a bunch of dishes, you could do this in 1 pot and it would be perfectly fine. I've deboned some of these thighs, and I saved the most frozen one for the last one. Show you how I do it, if you care how I do it. If you don't care how I do it, fast forward through the next couple of seconds or so and do something different with your time. But anyway, let me take that little upper thigh bone out there and kind of trim it off a little bit. Make sure to get all of these little goodies here. These will be very delicious, and we're not actually going to cook the thighs whole. We're going to slice them up and cook them anyway. So it doesn't really matter if your work is pretty. I'm sure it helps in the presentation, but at the end of the day it's going to be cubed up and thrown in the pot. And now, this is Bad Dad Adventures, so I will be leaving this beautiful, beautiful skin on the thigh, because one does not get such a physique as this by not eating fat. So we're just gonna cube it up into whatever size you like to eat. I like to do maybe 1 inch squared, something like that. And right away you can tell the difference between this meat and the stuff you buy at the store. It's got a lot of color to it. The stuff you get in the store are sometimes kind of just whitish. This has got a lot of real nice color to it. It just occurred to me that I didn't tell you anything about the farm. So our friends at Diamond DM Farms have provided this lovely, lovely bunch of chicken thighs so that I can test them out, cook something delicious, and maybe help out a Southwest Missouri local farmer, which is always a plus in my book. So you'll notice lately that I haven't really posted any good videos because I've been kind of boring. We did recently go turkey hunting and fishing and morel hunting, some of which you'll see here pretty soon, but spoiler alert, I still don't have a turkey dead, frozen in the refrigerator. So, hopefully by the time you see this, maybe that changes. But at least as of today, no turkey. So what we've got going on over here on the stove, as you can see, I've got a pot of boiling water. And I like to do this dish with larger pastas like a penne or something like that. Today we're going to do a rotini. So I've just got a little bit of salt in the water. It started boiling. Throw a little bit of olive oil in that. Let it go to town. Then, on this beautiful cast iron skillet, throw a couple of tablespoons of olive oil in there. I do not measure anything. So, hi kitty, are you going to want some of this in a minute? So, if it sounds like I'm just making this up as I go, it's pretty close. It's pretty similar every time, but it's also just a little bit different every time. It's a good dish to make with a kid because you don't have to worry about really measuring anything. It's not fussy. There's not a lot of crazy stuff in it. It's basically what I'm going to do is I've got this oil heating up. I'm going to throw some minced garlic into the skillet. Let that roast up a few, maybe 45 seconds to a minute while the dog and the cat try to kill each other in the other half of the kitchen. And then once that's done, take the meat, saute it in here with the old garlic. And I like a lot of garlic, so I just dumped in probably 3 tablespoons worth of garlic. I mean, I likes my garlic. I'm going to spread that out. So we got that garlic in there, spread it out nice. It won't take very long at this temperature to kind of boil that water off and then brown that garlic up a little bit. Okay, we're back. Got our oil and our garlic going. Add a little bit of salt to that, and then let's add the chicken. That saute for a few minutes while it's doing its thing. We'll do nothing because there's nothing to do. We can stir the pasta. Pasta stirred. So as you can see, that garlic kind of browned up a little bit, and now we're just browning the chicken. And while it's cooking, you're going to want to spice it up a bit. You can do a lot of different things. The first way I used to do this would be I would use like an Italian seasoning with oregano, basil, that sort of stuff. This time around, I'm going to use something that I really like to use on pretty much everything these days, and that is Burger Royale Burger Blend seasoning, which is very hard to see today, apparently. So we're just gonna, it's got salt, pepper, red pepper, garlic, all sorts of good stuff in it. So we'll season it pretty heavy because this is going to be a fairly large dish. Now we're cooking on medium heat in the cast iron today, but maybe needs to be a little closer to medium high. And these days I don't get too uptight about stirring with the same spoon, because the thing is about this, I said it was an easy recipe. You could literally make it in one pot if you did the pasta first and then strained it out and put it somewhere to cool. Then you could actually just brown the chicken and the garlic and stuff in this pot if you wanted to. I just didn't want to do that today. I wanted to have 2 pots because I love washing dishes so much. So I gotta give credit where credit is due. This dish was inspired by a show that Michelle and I used to watch on the Discovery Channel? No. I don't remember what show it was on. It was early 2000s. It was At Home with Christopher Lowell. He kind of introduced us to this style of cooking, which is just pretty fast, pretty simple, no fuss, but really good food. So we're going to add some vegetables to this in a bit. You can add whatever you want to it, but I'm going to do something a little different and just use a stir-fry vegetable, because my garden isn't even started yet, so we don't have fresh vegetables. We're going to go old school and go frozen, and harken back to the time when we had 3 kids under 5 years old, and you had to really work quickly before the children lost their minds when you came home. So this is especially good for people with young kids, because like I said, it takes, if you were prepped with your chicken and all that stuff, you could probably do this in 15 or 20 minutes. I mean, we've done it in the time that the pasta has been boiling, and so the pasta's almost done, so the dish is almost done. So once this chicken is done to your liking, and it's pretty much getting there, piece there, see? Okay. Yeah. So first impressions on our Diamond DM chicken thighs here. It's got a little more texture than what you see from the grocery store. Not tough. There's a little more texture to the meat. You can tell the chicken's been kind of running around and eating stuff out in the yard. Like I said earlier, the coloring was really nice in the chicken, and now that it's cooked, it's very flavorful. I'm digging that. That's going to be good. So if you're in Southwest Missouri and you want some very good high quality proteins, I will put a link in the description here for Diamond DM Farms, and we'll get you the information for the website, for the Facebook page. They've got all that stuff, and you can. They've got chicks now that they're raising, so they're going to have food here pretty soon to sell. So while we're finishing this up, I'm going to just go ahead and open up our stir fry. It's pretty standard, a lot of broccoli, red bell peppers, carrots, cauliflower, a little bit of mushroom, a little bit of onion, a little bit of everything. It's straight frozen. This is way too easy. Hard to beat that. Oh, Kona wants to be in the video. Not quite big enough to be in the video yet. Clean up. Okay, so it looks like the pasta is very hot because it's boiling. Alright, so we've got this. The pasta's pulled out. I've drained it. I'm going to go ahead and recommend you grab a little bit more olive oil. Just kind of splash that in there a bit. That'll keep it from sticking to the pot while it's cooling. Plus, you know, it's a little more fat, a little more goodness. Why not? Basically, what we need to do is get all these vegetables thawed out and cooked about the same way you would with a stir fry. I mean, essentially, that's what we're working towards. I'm going to turn the heat up a bit because you want to sort of evaporate all the liquids off and get it to where it will just sing and be delicious. And then it's almost ready to eat. I'm in the dog's way. So here's where it gets crazy. So we've got everything just blowing and a-going. It's really getting there flavor-wise. Now we're going to turn the heat off. Pretty simple, right? You just turn it off. And if you're using cast iron, don't forget this bad boy. It doesn't get any easier than this. Excuse me, mind your way. We're just going to dump it right in the pot with the pasta. Amazing. And then we stir. Now's a good time to kind of check. Make sure you like your spices and your amounts of spices, so when you throw in all of that pasta, that is going to throw things off a bit. We'll soak up some of that spice you threw in there. That seemed like a lot of spice. That's getting pretty close. A little bit more. Okay, so another genius thing about this, I mean, you see the size of pot that we're dealing with, right? Let's just come back a little bit. And that's a large pot. It's almost full of food. So you're talking tonight's meal, and then lunch, whatever. I mean, you could eat on this for 2 or 3 days and it is delicious. If I had used a whole grain pasta, it would actually be healthy, which would be even better. So now it's time to plate it. Okay, so now it's time to plate, or better yet, bowl. There we go. Get our pot. Great. Another great thing about this, you don't have to fuss with it. You just put it in there in your bowl. Get a little chicken. I mean, it pretty much plates itself because it's got all of this beautiful color in it from the vegetables. You got your green, you got your red bell pepper, got your broccoli. You just get a little bit of everything in this, and then I like to throw in some mangled up Parmesan cheese on there, like so. My favorite part is grabbing up a little pasta, a little chicken, a little broccoli. Evidence that I'm not a very good deboner. Can you say deboner? It's a bad dad show, so I guess I can say whatever I want. Anyway, the chicken is delicious. The dish is delicious. It's super easy. Something I've been doing for decades. Still love it every time. So, go ahead, make this for yourself. Call up Dean over at Diamond DM Farms. Get you some of this farm-raised, pasture-raised, organic chicken. They sell eggs. They got cattle, all sorts of good stuff. Everything you need to eat well and not have to question where your food came from. Anyway, thanks for watching.